Today I'm at Ward Village Shops where I'm headed for Island Olive Oil, where I'm going to try some of the olive oils and find out how to judge them, how to taste them, what makes a good olive oil for cooking, and just kind of demystify this subject because there's a lot of questions about olive oil. Are they adulterated? Are they really good for you? So we'll find out.
Positive attributes of extra virgin olive oil are fruitiness, bitterness, and pungency. So fruitiness is what you're going to get when you first smell the aroma of the olive oil. It's either going to smell like fresh fruits, green fruits like bananas, or like green almonds, tomato leaf, that type of thing. Or you're going to have more ripe fruit, so it's going to smell like tropical fruits, or like peaches and mangoes and that kind of thing. You're going to get that on the tip of your tongue and the smell. Then the bitterness comes from the mid palate. So that's going to be this kind of sensation right in the middle of your tongue, and it's a little bit more astringent, like radicchio or arugula, that type of thing, or like kale, something kind of vegetal. And then at the back of your palate, you're going to get the pungency, which is the pepperiness. So that's going to be that little burning sensation you get. It'll make you cough. Brian was telling you, a good olive oil, you cough once. A really good olive oil, you cough twice. And an excellent olive oil, you cough 3 times. So that's how you know. So some people think, did you add pepper to this? Why is it like this? I don't like that. But that's actually the extra, the antioxidant, anti-inflammatory properties. Yeah. So a balance of those things, different olives and different harvests are going to produce different combinations of that. So a really well-balanced olive oil will have each of those present. Some will have a lingering pungency at the back end, which is really nice if it's a really lovely oil. Some are going to be really unbalanced. You know, they might have a lot of fruitiness, but they're kind of milder on the bitterness and pungency. That's okay too. It's just a different taste and a different style, so that would be good for using with different culinary applications. The polyphenols right here is the antioxidant, anti-inflammatory property in olive oil. It's also, it's going to give you that tickle in the back of your throat, and that means it's a really fresh oil. So the more tickle you get, usually the higher the polyphenols are. And this is a really high number.
Yeah, that's what we want. The antioxidants.
A high polyphenol oil is the best to cook with because when you cook, you'll cook off some of the phenols. So if you go with a lower quality oil, you won't have those ability to combat the free radicals that are coming out of it, as well as there are certain chemical analyses that Brian is actually an expert in of what helps the smoke point as well as the shelf life.
Oh, that's interesting because I tend to like drink the high polyphenol one straight and then cook with a lesser oil.
Yeah. Well, we do a whole thing about food pairings with olive oil, so a lesser one or a milder one will be really nice to do things like crudo de pesce, or a light salad, or with fruit. So there are flavor pairings that you do. Mild cheeses, something that's medium intensity would be better for some fresh pastas. Mild, like lighter meats like chicken or pork, and then something more robust is really delicious with things like like a grilled ribeye or garlic, or really heavier, stronger flavors, and that will stand up to it without so that's kind of, so when you cook, a lot of times you're cooking a lot of that down.
So what year did you start your journey?
The olive oil, let's say about 2014, 2015.
What was the turning point, like a specifically good olive oil?
It was. You tried it for the first time, and once you have that aha moment, and you try that one ingredient or that one thing that you just absolutely love, the light bulb goes off, and you just want to get more and more of it, right? So, I mean, for some people, it's we have people coming here all the time and they're looking to recapture some type of thing that they've had before. It's the food memories. It's like the movie, the cartoon, Disney cartoon, Ratatouille, right? He makes Ratatouille. The food writer comes in or the food critic comes in and it reminds him of his childhood. Automatically, boom, you know, he's writing about it because it's what you associate with. You know, you always hear the stories about food brings everybody together at family meals. They're having their conversations, and what is it that everybody's gathering, right? So it's just about tasting the food for its uniqueness, just the individual bites, and then you look at how olive oil brings it together and just can emphasize and make that food taste that much more, gives it that umami level sometimes. That's what we're really looking for when we were looking at these different olive oils, and that's kind of how we saw how the olive oil transformed the food that we were eating. You know, you go to these European countries or Australia, and what do? They take the bottle of olive oil and they just drizzle it all over everything, you know, and then they'll put it over a crostini, they'll put it over fresh tomatoes, they'll put it over all these different products, over fish, over vegetables, proteins, grains, and they eat it just like that. And it just makes that flavor pop that much more. It's one of the beauties of it. We get a lot of the questions, people say, you know, do I keep my olive oil in the refrigerator? You should not keep your olive oil in the refrigerator. If you're gonna go out of town for a couple of months, then it's okay. But when you keep your olive oil in the refrigerator, you're doing that fluctuation
of temperature. So
of
it goes
temperature
from warm to cold, and
It's
that
actually
makes the
worse
shelf
for it.
life go down really quickly.
it makes you go rancid
Yeah,
that
so
much
there's
faster.
a lot of misinformation, and generally what Americans have been used to with olive oil hasn't always been the best quality olive oil, or it's been adulterated olive oils. And so as a general population, people just are not really informed. So it's exciting to be able to share that. And once you taste the different types of oils, like we did the other day and like we're going to do today, you really get it's a real eye-opener.
Yeah, really is. Because there's only 3 positive attributes to any good olive oil, okay? And that's fruitiness, bitterness, which is kind of funny, and pungency. Those are the only 3 positive attributes. This is called a defects wheel. And it's one of the tools that we use to identify defects when we're going through our sensory analysis and stuff like that. But there's so many different, you know, waxy, salami, if it smells like an olive, all these different things, these are all negative identifiers for bad oils. Because you guys hear all about how olive oil is supposed to be good for you, it's healthy, it's all these different things. Well, this is true. But the thing is, the fresher the oil, the better it is for you.
And not all olive oils are created equally.
Correct, which we're going to go through when we start tasting. You're going to be like, one is more bitter, one could be more pungent. And we actually threw in a couple defects for you guys too, just to kind of so that you guys could see what is going to be out there.
So what about like all the grocery store brands that most people end up buying? Is that any good at all?
Some are good and some aren't good.
Aren't as good, yeah. We're not going to say names just because, you know.
To answer your question, is when you learn about olive oil, you will yourself be able to discern when you taste it if it's a good olive oil or not, as well as certain things you're going to look for as far as where it's harvested and when it's harvested, the shelf life of things, and also if it's from a lot of countries. So there are a lot of things that you can learn and you can do for yourself to be able to help educate yourself so that you can decide what is good quality or not.
Because you always read how the grocery store ones are adulterated, so you're never sure what you're getting.
Exactly. That's why one of the reasons why we're so proud that we test everything and we make sure it's the highest quality available and freshest that you can get. Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Let's taste some.
All right.
These are the types of blue cups that they use in competitions and in judging. What they're designed to do is that it's psychological, right? So you're not seeing, because a lot of people think that the really green olive oil is supposed to be more of this or more of that, and it really has nothing to do with the olive oil. It's more of the chlorophyll content that's actually in the olive oil that gives it that color. So really, really bright green or this, but it's got no effect on the flavor, really. So that's why they put it in blue cups, so you're not sitting there and you're not thinking the psychological impact. It's going to be really, really green, so it's going to be really good. And you'd be surprised if people think that, and it actually does connect the two, okay? So what we'll do is we'll take the cup, and this is, it's nice and rounded, right? So what you want to do is you want to just basically keep the cap on for a little bit, and you want to just gently swirl it around your hand, and the palm of your hand is going to help to kind of like warm up and heat up, so you're just releasing the aromas that you have within that olive oil, okay? And so you just go there, you can do it either way. You can go like this and that, you can just, however you want to do it, and then you just kind of take it off. And then that's the first thing that you're doing is you're catching that aroma. After I smell it, that first aroma hits my nose, and I'm smelling for what kind of fruits I'm picking up and everything else. And then I'm taking a little sip, and the little sip I'm gonna take, I'm just gonna sit there right on the tip of my tongue. And then once I'm sitting on the tip of my tongue, it just lingers there for a quick second, and then I suck it in, but I don't.
You kind of slurp it back.
You kind of slurp it back because you want that air to hit that olive oil and to release all through your mouth, and then you're getting that, it takes you on a little bit of a journey. So on the tip of your tongue, you'll get that fruitiness, that bitterness will hit you in the mid palate.
Retronasal. And
then the retronasal oleocanthal, and then you'll have that little bit of pungency in the back end that makes your throat tickle for you, okay? Which when you're not usually expecting it and you're not used to a high quality oil, it throws people off a lot, and they say this isn't good, and because they, this is the retraining that we have to do with a lot of people. So I'll take a little sip now. And it takes that back, and it just goes all through. And now now see. It's good oil. So I'm telling you that right now, okay? But all these little flavors go through. And a good oil should leave your mouth clean. It should leave your mouth refreshed. It's almost like, kind of like, not really a mouthwash, but kind of like a mouthwash. You don't want to have any type of greasiness on your lips or that waxy feeling that you get. It should leave your mouth clean, refreshed, and just overjoyed.
If you're expecting it, wouldn't you be like ready for it to happen?
You're ready for it, but it's a physiological reaction that you're coughing at it. It's, you can't help it. It just happens.
It just happens, and you don't know. Like a lot of it's there's a direct correlation with the amount of polyphenols, which that's that buzzword that's going around, right? So there's the amount of polyphenols that's directly related. The higher the phenolic content, not all the time, but the majority of the time, the higher the phenolic content, the higher that pungency is going to be on the back end. Okay? The highest I've ever seen was in the 1200s. The second highest I've ever seen was 800 something. And then the Northern California Kalamata was 777, I believe. And Dr. Selena Wang at UC Davis, she took a bunch of that because she did a bunch of studies on it, because it was just showing how, the higher smoke point and everything else. And then the fourth highest one that I've seen was 771, and we're actually going to have that later as part of the sampling. This is what our people come in, a lot of our customers will come in, they want that nutraceutical. It's like you saying, you take it as your tablespoon every day, put it in your smoothie. It really, really helps. So anyway, enough of that. Let's do some tasting. Take it and just roll it around and everything else. And everybody's a little bit different, right? On how you guys doing your flavors and everything else like that. So think about it, and you can get to it where you feel it's nice and warm.
You can take the cap off if you want to. You can. I do this. Yeah. You can just put your hand on top of it.
And go ahead and then just.
Because it traps the smell.
Like this?
Yeah.
What does it smell like?
Oh, I can smell. It's very.
It smells
bold,
really, really green, like
Tomato, green
actually,
tomato.
this one smells like tomato.
See,
It does have some tomato in it.
Okay.
That's it.
Now go ahead and just take the sample real quick.
Like a really ripe tomato.
Get the bitterness now, and then that little burn.
Ooh, I feel it.
Yeah. That's why we have the water.
But then
It's really bitter.
Yeah.
It's actually
taste
very
it
fruit
later.
forward if you think about it.
It's
There's
fruity in the
bitterness
beginning,
in the
bitter.
mid, but not as pungent as you would think. This is kind of a unicorn because the sensory aspect of this one is more mild, but the phenolic content is in the 385 range.
Grocery store olive oils in general will tend to be
Up to 25.
25 to 60, maybe in that range.
That's all.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's the one you just tried right there.
Turkey.
Yeah. It doesn't, I mean, you can
So it is
slowly
from
taste
Turkey.
it. Yeah.
And interesting is, would you think this is a good oil? Very good oil?
It's okay to me.
It's a good oil. It's not like a rock. It's not a great oil, but it's actually a really good oil. Okay. So number 2. Are you ready for this one?
Yeah.
Same thing. It's just a little. I only have a little bit left on this one, so.
I think people are getting more discerning. I think quality control is being, general public are holding people more accountable, and so we're getting to get higher quality than we've seen in the past.
What are you smelling?
Rancid.
Yeah, it's not,
Rancidity is actually the number one.
it does smell, yeah.
But what are you smelling particularly? See, that's the thing is for what we have to do is we have to identify what the flaw is, and then we have to identify how to correct that in the process. Think about it realistically, right? Because you could have like a sweaty gym sock. You could have like honestly like a baby's diaper.
I have some ideas. Let me hear.
I mean, these are the things that we come up
So
with.
what are you smelling?
Like old paint, like dry paint.
Right,
So a little
Dave?
bit turpentine kind of smell.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, dry like stale nuts, like
Yeah,
walnuts or
yeah.
crayons,
Yeah.
Stale.
like waxy crayons.
Yeah.
Waxy.
And those are all
Crayons.
actually defects.
Mm.
So if you go thinking waxy, crayons, stale nuts, that's an
Paint.
actually identifier of rancidity, which basically means that the olives, it's already gone. So once the olive is turned, the olive oil is turned, all those healthy properties are gone.
Yeah.
Okay.
And plus it tastes.
So when you smell this, do you still taste it?
Yeah.
Oh.
So
Well,
like
you're
I know,
gonna have to just so that
Just so
you
we
know,
know what
because
it
you're gonna be an
tastes
expert after this.
so like this one, the first one that you had, you notice like, I don't know if you had some water after too, but you notice that your mouth is kind of clean, kind
Yeah,
of feels
yeah,
refreshed,
yeah.
right? Now I'm gonna warn you, this is gonna be a little bit different, but you gotta try it just that you understand it, right? So let's go. I'll do it with you,
Thanks.
ladies. Okay.
Okay.
I'll try it too.
Oh, it's like having bad medicine. Ew, that wax. I do feel. Ooh.
So it's actually definitely rancid. Okay.
Are you getting any fruitiness out of it?
Actually, it
bitterness?
tastes better than it smells, though.
Tastes better than it smells, but are you getting? Are you having any fruitiness?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I felt a little bit of a pepperiness later.
A little bit, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's pretty. Well, there wasn't a lot in here, but definitely not as fruity as it could be.
So this one is actually hits the mark of all the different. We actually picked this one up in Jordan. Okay. So the Jordanian olive oil. We were going through. We went through all the different orchards and stuff.
We grabbed different ones,
We
but
grabbed different ones. This one was actually. They said it was cold pressed, the whole 9 yards and everything else, and this was actually pressed in October of last year.
so this last October, so it's not even a year old.
It's not even a year old.
Even a year old.
But it's in a clear bottle, which I don't really like because the heat, light, and air will get to it. And this
Heat,
was
light,
actually
and air are the
olive oil's enemies.
yeah. That's what makes things go rancid faster.
This was actually pressed bad. They used overly fermented fruit. All the different orchards we went to, they were actually using black fruit and dark fruit, and it's easier to press that because
You get more oil out of it.
more oil
so it's
out of
just
it.
more production.
Exactly.
Is what they were.
So it started old.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Would you say this is a mild olive oil or a robust olive oil?
I feel like it's mild.
Mild.
Yeah.
It tastes very mild. It's super
Really
clean,
delicate.
delicate. Yeah.
Is it this? I would consider very creamy. Like
Yeah.
I do taste
yeah.
the creaminess in this. Yeah. It's very.
Very rich texture. It's buttery.
it's very buttery. This is actually an unfiltered olive oil, and it's a mild olive oil. So unfiltered gives it that real creaminess. And this is from our friend in Turkey. And so this is the people say, oh, well, what's the difference between filtered and unfiltered? The filtered olive oils generally will have a bit of a longer shelf life because there's those particles that are the organic material in there, and that will turn quicker. But this is what you would call an olio nuovo. So it's a new pressed olive oil, and it's really creamy. So it's beautiful when it's fresh. So it's something once you open the bottle, you want to use it within 2 to 3 months. This is it.
So the unfiltered, they all have this creamy quality?
They don't all have the creamy quality. It's a matter of how they're pressing right now. Okay, the entire industry is leaning more towards filtration because when you don't filter it, you can sometimes you get some sediment in there. And one of these that you're gonna try, you're gonna notice. But I'm not gonna give it away, but you're gonna be like, wait a minute, kind of.
Well, there's
So
only 2
this
left.
one, so what's
No,
nice
you have
about
3 more left. Actually, you have 4 more left. The last one's a surprise.
So this one is particularly good. How would you use it in a culinary aspect? What would you think that would be nice with?
Salads
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you know, with fresh things.
Like the what do you call that? The platter.
Oh,
Charcuterie board?
charcuterie. Yeah, this is a good one.
It'd be nice for
charcuterie.
dipping bread. It's very mild. I would like it with fish. I would like it with like a light, like a opaka paka or some crudo de pesce, something really mild and very delicate. So yeah.
It's really good.
Yeah,
Is
I
this
like
the
this
same?
one.
This
It's-
one would
I
be
like
good
that
for-
cream.
Yeah, this I just poured it into that.
Oh.
It's
Okay.
like it'd be good for drinking too.
Yeah. So this is a really nice one. And this is
Add
a
it to a drink.
major award. Yeah,
Good
great
one.
Good one for the cocktails. Yep.
Take a picture of this.
It's a good one for olive oil cocktails. Is this a good oil or a bad oil?
It smells like a good one.
I think you're onto something, Nadine.
I smell floral.
Floral.
A little.
Yeah, Brian. This particular variety has is a telltale sign of this varietal of olive is a green tomato leaf.
Yep.
So try and smell it again and see if you could get a little bit of that. You know, if you walk through a garden, it's not the ripe tomato, but if you touch the tomato plant and smell your fingers, that kind of really fresh, gardeny kind of smell. So that's something you'll get from this one. And then, now let's give it a taste. See what you think. You like it?
Yeah. I feel the burning.
I feel, whoa.
I feel the burning.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
This is, would you say a mild oil or a robust oil?
This is
It's
a
robust
robust one.
for sure, but from the smell, it did not smell. It smelled mild and light.
Now it tastes like flowery. Like
There's a lot going on, right?
There's so
Very
many,
complex.
yeah, intense flavors. Like
and really spicy too.
yeah,
This is one of my favorites.
It's really good.
And so this is a picual, Spanish picual, award winner. Picuals are what have the green tomato leaf.
Tastes like tropical flowers.
Yeah, it's got. I love this. This is a wonderful one. How would you think of using it? Like in a culinary application.
would it be with strong like meats and
Yeah.
like heavier things too because it's so robust? Like
You
you
could,
want to,
yeah, you
or
could.
or would it be like to pair? I don't know, with like a chocolate because that's spice and
Yes.
that's kind of like because I love that spicy.
That's one of the things that we actually do. As a matter of fact, Chef Leon Wong just used this. She uses this one particularly, and she did a melon with prosciutto, and as a finishing oil too.
Yeah.
So because it's got that fresh, like really bright, all those really garden fresh flavors and all
Right.
that floral aspect, it goes well with things like that also. But I definitely, I mean, I love this one. This is
I like
Definitely,
it
yeah.
too.
We actually
I like the
One.
bitterness. It's really well balanced.
Right.
So
Because
it's
I
not-
want to taste the oil with food. I don't want it to
Yeah.
disappear into a dish.
Yeah. What we normally specialize in our store and what we like are the monocultivars. So it'd be, instead of like, with wine, like a blend, we usually do single variety. So that's why this is a Piqual. So that's the type of olive it is. And then this is produced in Spain. So you could have a Piqual that's from California. Also, you could have, so it's like where it's grown. And where it's grown, in the same respect, affects, and when it's harvested and the processing, all affects the taste, the robust, the intensity, all of those things. And
I feel like the polyphenol is like kind of low for what it tastes like.
Yeah.
It's-
Actually, it's forcing.
well, it's still very high.
in relation,
Yeah.
479 is very, very high in relation to everything else that's out there.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because the scale, the ones that Brian was telling you about that he's experienced that have been really high, those are like not really common. Those are like kind of like
The average that we get here in the store, on average, is probably be around 350 to 4 range.
And on the high end, do they taste good?
yes.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Wow, so good.
yeah. So this one is just, I think is a really nice, I have this one at home too. It's a really nice all-purpose. I'd use it for a lot of things.
So good.
Yeah, I like the Piqual.
And can we drink on this, and is it gonna hurt us, or is it good? It's good for us.
No, it's good for you. Well,
Just don't drink a lot of the bad one.
just don't drink. Yeah, don't drink the bad ones.
If it, and that's another thing to know. A rancid olive oil is not going to harm you particularly. It's just not good for you, and it doesn't taste good. So
doesn't have the healthy properties.
yeah, it doesn't have the whole reason everyone thinks it's so healthy, and it won't have those.
I feel like you have to taste them in order. Like, do the most peppery ones last, because after a while your tongue
Yeah.
gets numb by
Yeah.
the peppery ones.
Is your tongue feeling numb?
A little bit, yeah.
It'll get there.
Yeah.
Like, how many do you have to taste in like a single tasting?
Take a for us when we got our
Oh
certifications.
gosh, it was
You can-
probably
50 a day.
30 in the morning, like 30 in the morning and 20 in the afternoon.
That's a lot.
That
Yeah.
is a lot.
Yeah.
Ooh, it smells so different.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, I like smell, like, is it some kind of like spices or I mean, I don't know. It just smells so different.
Oh, this one smells like the country.
It took me a little bit to
I
identify
know, I'm like trying to figure
what it
I
was.
think, yeah.
It's so
kind of
different. It's like,
barnyardy, but like,
or like burnt trees.
yeah, like, there's, I can't even put my face,
You're-
woodsy, I don't even know.
You're getting there.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
Charcoal.
muddy.
Let me smell it.
It's
Muddy.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
You
Is
see
that
what
a good thing or a bad thing?
It's a bad thing.
Oh, really?
This is what I get from it. This part of it.
Yeah, like
It smells farmy.
Mm-hmm.
like barnyardy.
Yeah.
It totally, like, I do smell that barnyardy.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, yeah, completely different.
and you get that farmy taste up front.
Ooh,
Mm-hmm.
How does your
Very-
mouth feel?
Very farmy.
very far. Oh,
And then, but on the back end, you still have that kick,
I taste the kick.
right?
Yeah, it has. It's
Very bitter.
It's bitter.
It's bitter. Yeah, I can get the
very, very
bitterness.
bitter.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa. But I taste that barnyard. Ooh. Personally, not for me. But it's like, yeah. I mean, it's very interesting. Whoa.
It's
I'm
different.
still feeling it.
It's different. It's different.
Like, whoa.
You're giggling.
Yeah. What do you think?
Because I drink it every day because I order it.
Yeah.
So I got used to this taste.
So you're used to this taste.
But yeah, I was surprised. You actually you did call it, and the reason is I've been hearing so much about it.
We have a lot of customers ask about it,
I've had a
and
lot
we've
of
had customers bring it to us before too.
Yeah. So I wanted to.
I want to see the analysis.
Yeah. It has like a bold, bitter, bold, like,
Sneaks up on you.
whoa. It has that kick, like,
You're like like you just got
It's-
like, wait, what is this? And all of
You
a
just
sudden,
got woke.
yeah.
wow. It's, whoa, I'm still feeling it. It's coming, like,
This one just won gold in New York.
Wow, the Spanish
it's
ones are the
really
winners.
good. And
Yeah.
it's like, it's bold, but it's not like overly, like it has this, and it's just kind of like,
It's fun.
Yeah,
This
it's
is
good.
what this. Yeah. So this is definitely what we would recommend as a nutraceutical for our customers. It's $7.71.
Oh my gosh,
I'll take this picture too.
So this is definitely robust because of all that pepperiness that's lingering back there.
And it's really, it's silky.
Yeah, but
So-
it's still very fresh smelling. Still very green.
You will actually see
Is
more
this one unfiltered?
No, it's filtered.
filtered.
Because it tastes creamy and silky. The texture.
Wait till you try some of the Chilean oils.
Oh, that's Brian's favorite.
That's my first.
Chilean.
I hear all the time, like, well, where's the Italian oil? Where's the Greek oil? Where's this and where's that? And it's like, if we can't find a quality oil, we're not going to bring it in. They're just, I could care less where it comes from.
I'll tell you what, when we do carry Italian olive oils, they sell really quickly just
Yeah.
because people just think.
Association,
But
right?
Association.
there's an
exactly.
interesting
Association.
fact.
Overrated.
An interesting fact is Spain is the largest producer of olive oil in the world, and Italy's the largest importer of olive oil.
Oh.
But yeah, so a lot of times what was happening also was Italy was importing Spanish olive oil to help their supply, and then they bottled it in Italy. So it's bottled in Italy.
Oh, but Spain grows more olives?
Yeah,
Because when I was there, it's like, remember, they would give us like free olives, like all the olives we could eat.
Yeah,
It was
it's the biggest.
abundance
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
olives.
It was so awesome.
Spain does, but Spain has been top because for the longest time, most people don't associate.
Their
I think
food is so
Spanish
good.
oils are
Food is amazing.
Yeah.
They do their balsamics. They don't use it on salad dressing or stuff like that. They use it as a digestif for an aperitif. So this is for your after your meal and everything else, help the digestion. They put a little bit on their gelato, or maybe like a little bit
a piece of really
on a
delicious
piece of Parmesan
Reggiano.
Reggiano or something like that.
Yeah.
And there's so a lot of balsamic vinegars has wine vinegar in it now. This is the original one
Wow,
with no wine vinegar.
Those flavors.
It's just very plummy, very jammy.
Ooh, I love it. It's very jammy. Like
Yeah.
That's how
it's delicious.
that's how a balsamic is supposed to be. That's all it is.
Oh, this is amazing.
This is
So
just,
good.
Yeah, just great must.
Wow.
So good.
You ready for the kicker?
Uh-oh.
You know how much that shot just was worth? Take a wild guess at what that bottle's worth.
I'm scared too.
That's a $200 bottle. Whoa! So that's about a $20 shot right there. You're like,
No.